Woke and Free.
Thank you for tuning in to our 44th episode of Woke and Free on July 4th. Woohoo! Are you excited, Khalil?
Yeah, definitely.
I can tell by your tone.
Exuberated.
Exactly. For everyone who's been tuning in every week as a part of WokeNFree Nation, you know that you tune in every week for a new episode for WokeNFree Wednesdays, and WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything that's important to us, to you, the world, and nothing is off the table. Now, in this episode, for a special July 4th episode, we are talking all about... What do you think we're talking about?
4th of July?
Okay, Khalil.
That's
No, we're talking about reality television. Something
okay.
You love, right?
I guess so.
Exactly. But before we dive deep into this subject, we have a couple of ground rules to cover. First, have you subscribed to WokeNFree on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, or any of the other platforms you'll see we're on if you visit WokeNFree.com? If not, please do. We greatly appreciate your support of the show. Secondly, have you shared an episode with friends or family? It is July 4th, guys, so if you do want to listen to something very fun while chowing away or drinking away, definitely share any of our episodes of WokeNFree. And then, of course, if you want to holler at us on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at WokeNFree. And then lastly, if you're in the review mode of life, then feel free to review any of our episodes, and you can do so on any of the platforms we're on. Again, just go to WokeNFree.com and review away.
Each week, we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic. Last week, we shared what our favorite time of the day is, but since it's Independence Day, let's share our favorite way to celebrate the 4th of July.
That's interesting. I guess for me, I always walk around with kind of a dual personality of like my inner loner and then my inner social butterfly personality. So any holiday for me, I'm always, those personalities are dueling. So I guess I like to begin the day spending time with the WokeNFree Nation, as you all are listening to us right now. But then I guess later, definitely need to eat specifically Caribbean food. I'm talking jerk chicken, rice and peas, black cake. You hear me, aunties.
Oh, okay.
How about you, love?
Yeah, mine is just simpler. I like to play with fireworks and then have the perfectly prepared steak or filet mignon.
Khalil, you know where we live. Play with fireworks.
Yeah, you can do that in PA, I think.
Wow. Now let's get on to the topic for today, which is reality television, right?
Yes, it is. We're going to start with, what does reality TV actually mean?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked that question, dearest.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, reality television actually has like a definition, guys, just in case you weren't aware. It's a genre of television programming that documents supposedly unscripted real-life situations and often features an otherwise unknown cast of individuals who are typically not professional actors, although in some shows, celebrities may participate. It differs from documentary television in the fact that the focus tends to be on drama, personal conflict, and entertainment rather than educating viewers. Interesting. And, in competition-based reality shows, a notable subset, there are other common elements such as one participant being eliminated per episode, a panel of judges, and the concept of immunity from elimination. And there are obviously other types of reality TV shows, but pretty much when I read this definition, I said, so like darn near pointless television. But what do you think what does reality TV mean to you?
Well, yeah, when I think of it traditionally, I think of it as like non-actors off the street engaging in, I call it scripted and non-scripted events. But it's not a perfect look into people's lives since reality could actually be quite boring. So that's why I think a lot of these shows are scripted to kind of make it seem more appealing, and that gives the appeal of reality TV. But what's
Yeah.
interesting about the definition you were mentioning is some people classify documentaries as reality TVs. I saw that in looking at
Interesting.
stats. So
Really?
some of the stats
Okay.
I were looking at, I think it groups reality TV into that series, even on like IMDb.
Interesting.
It'll group like the show. I think it's Planet Earth, and that's a documentary on Earth and different
Okay.
life on Earth. That's called a reality show. So I don't know.
Interesting. Well,
It's
Wikipedia does
interesting.
have, so they do elaborate and say an early term for the format was docu-soap, and this genre has various standard tropes, including confessionals and awful other types of narration and things like that. So
Yeah.
I guess it's just not like a strict definition, but yeah, I think anytime you're going to get someone who's going to share their truth and they're not like a professional actor, most likely you can consider that some type of reality like television programming. But with that, how popular are reality TV shows, do you think?
Well, looking at the numbers, 750 reality TV shows aired in 2015, and from that point, the number was still rising, according to Vox.
Mm-hmm.
Reality Blurred also mentioned that of the top 400 shows on television in 2017, 188 of them were actually reality shows.
That's deplorable.
Yeah, these types of shows actually make unknown people into celebrities. So I guess that it kind of like fuels its own popularity because they become celebrities and people want to watch more and more. It's like people come to learn and love the Kardashians from the reality show. That's where it started.
Hey,
I know they're
Kim.
big on social media, but it all started from somewhere.
True. Actually, and again, for everyone who doesn't already know, all of our resources are available on WokeNFree.com. We love to share the research that we find. I found a Hello Giggles article that was referring to Psychology Today, where they were saying that there's pretty much a direct connection between watching reality TV and voyeurism, which sounds creepy and certainly conjures up images of looking through people's windows and obsessing over someone's private life. But essentially, that's kind of what we're doing, right? We're fascinated with the idea of how other people live. And then also another article on Stacker says that today nearly 4 out of 10 people watch some form of reality TV. The trend started during the 40s and 60s with shows like Queen for a Day and The Dating Game, and obviously shows like The Voice. And then when you had shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, it seemed like, this kind of genre of television got even bigger and crazier than anyone probably could expect. And it makes sense because I think that there's a lot of isolation in our society, and the best way for us to feel connected is to essentially step into other people's homes through these types of shows. But there are other ways for us to live, and hopefully there will be other trends that kind of, I don't know, surpass this reality TV situation, because that seems a little creepy that we're all like, I mean,
It's a way to be a stalker, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it seemed like.
Definitely.
The voyeurism style.
Yeah, because to be honest, it is because we all know it's not real. Because if a camera was like, for instance, to follow me, it would be the cameraman would like fall asleep because I would be sitting for like 2 hours on my computer laughing to like 90210 or One Tree Hill or some movie I'm watching, and then I'd get up, I'd drink some water, go to the
that's
bathroom.
interesting.
Like, I mean, who the hell wants
It's interesting seeing where you get your water from.
talking to the dog,
Very
singing,
thought-provoking and entertaining.
and then maybe going outside screaming at insects. I mean, it would just seem very weird. I mean, maybe it would be kind of amusing, but
Yeah, of course.
for like every 2 hours or 3 hours, it's just gonna be like literal. Like, you should watch, what's that station the political station where they just C-SPAN? Is it?
Yeah.
It'd be the same thing as that. I think most people's lives amount to that level of excitement. Like.
Pretty much. Get some coughs in there and stuff. And
Yeah,
throat clearing.
and other types of, clearing of noise. If you
Clearing
get
of throats, yeah.
Sure, we
Yeah.
could go with that. Yeah.
All right. That's what I go with.
Do you think there's any benefit to watching reality television programs?
Well, it definitely depends on like what show you're watching. I'd say
Mhm.
that depends on the benefits that could be had.
Mm.
So financial shows like The Profit and Shark Tank,
Woohoo!
I think those are pretty good. They share like business insights for aspiring entrepreneurs, and
Word.
their conversation often intrigues you to learn more about things. Things like stages of funding a new business.
True.
So really, it depends on the show itself, because then there's other shows that don't provide really much insight, and it's just straight up conflict. You don't actually learn about the industry, or you get like a skewed view.
True.
So it really depends on what you're watching.
Okay. I found some interesting commentary on myessaypoint.com, which I'll point to a couple of times. So the author wrote ordinary men attaining stardom, which I don't know if that's necessarily a benefit to me. Maybe if I was
not to a viewer,
a man.
But I think it means men as in the race, the human race.
Oh, okay.
Not like man as not a man
like
gender.
Literal men. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I think that there could be a benefit to people who would have normally just lived kind of quote unquote regular lives, or not in the limelight kind of life, and so now they have this opportunity to be like a reality TV star. So that's really cute and fun. Another benefit, social issues, right? They bring up certain issues that are plaguing our society that were brought to my attention through not just social media, but reality television, through our skewed news, because y'all know how I feel about the news. And so that's important. You have to get educated and informed in multiple mediums and platforms, and ironically, reality TV actually fits the bill there. Also, I thought this was an interesting benefit. Now, this is for all the people who are in the kind of filmmaking, entertainment, content creator space. It's actually a little bit cheaper to create kind of a reality TV show as opposed to like other types of programs like a sitcom or soap opera. So that's a benefit if you're the actual content creator. And then also for people who are looking to have a successful career, like, Cardi B, right? How you doing, boo-boo? She got her start, right, on reality TV, and was able to then parlay that into her immense rap game, which everyone except for some people I know can't get enough of.
Well, she's just using free advertising of reality TV to help boost her career up. That's like great advertisement, all the viewers. That's a nice little
Try
thing.
not to sound so salty there.
But that just seems like a benefit for the reality star, not for the viewer.
Not for the viewer, but again, though, remember, we in life, we're inspired by what we see, and we're affected by what we see. So if you yourself are looking to be a rapper, maybe the best way for you to get ahead in that game is for you to get on one of these shows and then showcase just how cute and fun and sassy you are, and then drop them beats,
Now we should go on to what are the disadvantages of watching the reality TV shows.
Okay, well, again, myessaypoint.com had some interesting commentary that I'd like to share. So, and you actually spoke to it earlier. The fact is, it's not fully reality TV, guys, right? Like we said, I really do think people's lives are similar to C-SPAN. So, no disrespect to C-SPAN, but I'm sorry, it's not maybe the most riveting programming available to watch. And so I think that we do have people that are kind of encouraged to fight, encouraged to say nasty things, or to induce that negative craving that all of our brains need and want. And so that's not really great, because it's giving people, especially our young people, the wrong impression of what reality is by you calling it a reality TV show, and people are sounding like they're off the set of Bold and Beautiful. It's it's a little confusing, and it's bad messaging. Next point actually is harmful effect on teens. I think a lot of times we as a society don't focus enough of how are our kids thinking, right? We make this joke on the show all the time, like, this is for children, right? Like, because ultimately, when we live our lives, it's important to remember that you're a role model. Everywhere you go, everything you do is attributed to you. And if some child can read about you or learn about what you did, and what they're going to be reading or seeing is you pulling hair off someone's head, you cussing out somebody, and you just using all sorts of expletives explicit language.
They learned an appropriate way to address conflict.
Exactly.
Throw water in somebody's face.
Exactly, right? Like, that might not be the best type of behavior we want to role model to our youth. So that's definitely a negative. And then also abusive shows, which is very important because there's an effect on people by showcasing certain bad human behaviors. And yes, it's important to show that truth, but we have to weigh the cost to showing that. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'm jaded. I agree that most of the shows are scripted. Like that's just what I think. Mm-hmm. And then like you were saying, like it's not really reality. It's actually an altered take on reality. And that's from the editing of these reality shows. Because what you do is you take all the good parts and get out all the boring parts, which could make up the majority of the day.
C-SPAN.
And then what you do is you can just like strew together all the good parts over like a week of time. So it looks like in one day these people are doing lots of different exciting things and having exciting conflicts and getting into these battles, which it actually took place over a week or so. It makes you think that, wow, a lot happens in the day for them. Not really. That was a week of stuff. You don't know. They string it together however they want. And then also, I think it can hurt certain people that aren't good with their money. It makes them want to like live a lavish lifestyle, and they don't have the funding, so they just build up these credit card bills, buying all the fashion, trying to get like a nicer house or whatever, just because they see that lifestyle, or even trying to get into like flipping houses and they don't know a thing about it. Like I watched that flipping show. It's really easy. They make a profit every time. It's simple. They don't put too much money into it. But people are doing that. They see these shows and they're like, you see that? We can make lots of money here. People are doing that too.
Yeah. The other thing, actually, neither of us brought up is just another point. Is as you were talking, I just thought, well, what about the effect on these people, these quote unquote reality TV stars themselves? Like, it must be difficult to get into brawls, right? Or to be forced to, live your life on camera for 6 months. Well, maybe you want privacy to fart. Maybe you want privacy.
Get that when the show's over.
But there's something to be said about not having your own control of your life for a little bit, and I think that can weigh on a person. I mean, maybe you don't think,
emotionally,
but I think that could be a little challenging to live with. So,
it could.
My heart weeps for you.
It's like having a paparazzi that's always there that you can't punch in the face.
Okay.
Because that's what some of these actors punch the paparazzis out. I don't know why, but they would have hit them.
Because people struggle with their emotions. We talked about it on this show.
They respond violently just to someone in their face with a camera.
Because we're watching reality TV shows and we're responding.
It's crazy.
That's why.
Pretty much.
It's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
How do you think reality TV shows change our society then?
On inverse.com, you guys know I love research. Go to WokeNFree.com to get all of our articles. We have a lot this time for this episode. So there's a couple of studies that this website referred to. So in a study called Why People Watch Reality TV by Stephen Reese and James Wiltz, the authors sought to examine the human motivation behind reality television. In the study, they had 239 adults rate themselves on 16 basic motivations, as well as how much they watched and enjoyed reality programming. The results showed that the status is the main motivational force that drives interest in reality TV. And they concluded in the paper, the more status-oriented people are, the more likely they are to view reality television and report pleasure and enjoyment. Interesting. And then there's another study called Reality-Based Television Programming and the Psychology of Its Appeal by Robin L. Nabi, Erica N. Bealey, Sarah J. Morgan, and Carmen R. Stitt. Set out to understand why people gravitate towards reality TV and what they're getting out of it. Though the idea that reality TV's appeal is based on watching others, the study found that the correlation between reality TV and voyeurism was questionable.
Really?
Instead, they found that the reasons and gratifications associated with TV were varied and differed between regular and casual viewers. Though their findings that downward social comparison was a motivation. That is the idea that watching people on TV who very clearly do not have their lives together makes you feel superior. Interesting. The reasons for the appeal of reality TV were varied. Furthermore, the co-authors found that there was certainly an opportunity for a dark side of reality TV. There might also be some opportunity for positive outcomes in programming. And in their paper, they wrote, "We believe it is important to distinguish viewership based on salacious interest derived from the exploitation of others from that based on a certain interest or curiosity in other people that might in turn promote self-reflection and perhaps even empathy." I think they got turned around in this study because they say, so they're arguing that voyeurism isn't necessarily like a driving motivation like across the board, but then they kind of end it, or they share this quote saying, you know, there's maybe categories of people that fit within why one group wants to watch this type of program versus another. I think that ultimately, again, it's all about, we've talked about this as well. Like how are the results like gathered? Who's responding? What communities were touched? What age groups were touched? Right? There's a lot of variables with science. It's great, but you can always skew results. So
at this point, just from what you found, it seems like the studies are a wash. Like really,
it just they seem turned around a little bit.
There's no real correlation. They're not actually sure why people watch reality shows. They're not. But it's going to be hard to, because what I think is some people have it as like a dirty secret too. They kind of know that they shouldn't be watching it, but they do watch it. So then if they're asked, porn. Why do I watch this? They're going to make up these weird reasons. They're just gonna be like, it's gonna be tough. So you got to ask them like targeted questions. But if you don't ask them the right questions, this is what messes the whole study up, because they're not asking all the right questions.
And also, you know, it's all about honesty. Do people honestly know why they do what they do? Because it's the same thing. I don't know how likely I would be to want to answer a survey about, like I said, like similar to porn. Like, are you going to answer how many times you watch that and what type of porn you watch? And like, Bye, Felicia.
It really depends on how the study's done. What type of questions they're asking, because you can't just straight out ask them, why do you like this show? No, you can't ask that. I guess you got to ask like personal questions, and then you've got to try to make a correlation between their answers, and then hope that it ties in back to the reality shows. I don't know. It's tough. One thing that I think's interesting that I don't know if everybody's thought about, but I think reality show actually helped America get its current president. Just think about who knew Donald Trump before his popular show The Apprentice. Who really knew of him? I mean, only people who looked at the world's billionaires. Then you probably
I knew of him not from the show, but from him as a business person, because I never watched The Apprentice.
So you might not have, but I'm saying like a general person in Alabama, is he really looking up a billionaire financially? I don't know. But The Apprentice, once The Apprentice came on, he was super popular.
That's how the mind definitely kind of grew.
That's how he built up his social following. It was from the show, and then right after that, he decided to jump into politics. Really after Apprentice, but
one gig really, after really the next, I guess.
Yeah, from Apprentice to president. That's what he did. But The Apprentice is a reality show that I think it's really helped shape how America is today.
People need to pray for this country.
Believe it or not. I don't know if anyone's talked about that, but look at The Apprentice. That was the start.
I can't.
That's where you got a big start there. Now, are there signs that you're actually addicted to these reality TV shows?
Oh, goodness gracious. So I found this really interesting article on BuzzFeed. Shout out to BuzzFeed. I think they're awesome. They have an article titled 25 Times You Realize Your Reality TV Addiction Was Out of Control. Obviously, don't have the time to go through all 25 reasons, but to shout out to a couple of them that I thought were hilarious was, Nini is basically your religion. Yes.
Wow.
You need in capital letters, a friend who's willing to discuss the drama. You often use the phrase, when I get my own reality show. I've heard that too many times to count.
Nice.
You consider yourself to be a part of the Kardashian family. That's scary.
That's weird. Come on now.
All you think about during the day is what's going to happen on your favorite show later. That's interesting. And then your life revolves around when your favorite shows are on. So kind of like you can only make appointments around your reality show times, which is fascinating. I mean, it's interesting planning.
Even with DVR, wow.
Yeah. What do you think?
The ones that I just thought of were your DVR is full and occupied by mostly reality TV shows.
Shade. Yep.
Come on now. You reference characters from Love and Hip Hop far too often.
Hey.
Like saying quotes every day about these different characters. I mean, that's kind of crazy. You can't do that. Right. Maybe a few lines, but not a quote every day by different of those people on the show. Mm-hmm. And then another thing I thought of was you follow all your favorite reality TV characters' social media accounts.
I mean, but
you're really in on it. You're really in on it. You got to see what they're doing each and every day.
You got to support people on social media, though. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it's support your family that's trying to start a business. Support their things.
You can do both, though. I think the problem is
you're gonna follow 5,000 people.
Well, yes, but they choose them over the people they know, which is I think the issue. Yeah. Where you prioritize people you don't know over people you do know.
Yeah, I think that's an issue. Mm-hmm. You need to be following all your family and friends first.
Word.
That you like, I guess. I'll put
nice
that
preference.
Out there.
Nice preference.
Because I know how some people are.
Shade. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is your personal take on reality TV shows for WokeNFree Nation to know?
Well, I think that many shows are getting past their expiration date, and in a few decades, there's going to be a lot less of these shows out there. Mm-hmm. It's actually less profitable to make these shows now. According to Market Watch, 2 and 3 producers say their margins fell in 2016, with one saying the margin was 10% of the entire budget, and it actually went down to 8%.
Wow.
So, finally, I think people are getting tired of them, even though they remain popular. Also, they just, like I was saying previously, they distort reality.
Yeah.
They're almost like movies, but I feel that they're a little bit worse because they have what we think of as real life people doing real life things, forgetting that the show is actually edited. At least movies, people kind of understand it's supposed to be fiction, but when you see these reality shows, you say, oh, that's real. That's really what happens. That's how I can make my living. I can do the same things. I just think there's better ways to spend time. So I try to avoid most of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that I completely agree. I think ultimately there are, like anything else in life, there's always exceptions to the rule. I definitely think that we at WokeNFree are not saying that all reality TV shows are bad. We're saying that there's a minute number that are actually beneficial for you. But sadly, I think the overwhelming majority of people tuning in are tuning into the drama, the trash, the bad, these pointless kind of mind-numbing shows. And to be honest, why not pick up a book to read? Why not write the book that you want to write? Why not start that business? Why not spend more time with your kids? Why not fill in the blank over watching some of these shows? I think that when I hear people say, I can't do X because I got to watch this, that's where you just want to start to think about, well, am I progressing in my life or am I, melting my brain cells? Like, what's priorities, guys, priorities.
Yeah. What were the most popular reality TV shows in 2017?
I thought this was fun. I saw on Insider that, and we'll share all links on WokeNFree.com, just to name a few. The Real Housewives franchise on Bravo is very popular last year. Obviously, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Shout out to Kim. Little People, Big World. TLC. Hello. Shark Tank. What's good? Big Brother. CBS. Fixer Upper. HGTV. List goes on and on. But should I really go on and on?
Well, what I could do is just add in the top two, which are NBC's America's Got Talent and The Bachelor. According to Reality Blurred, at least.
But Simon is really funny, though.
Yes, so, from American Idol to America's Got Talent, of course.
Yes, hello, Simon.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time. Scenario 1. Denise is in a dilemma. She sits down on her couch after a delicious dinner to find out her DVR is full, and 2 of her favorite shows are coming on at the exact same moment. One is about a woman who lives a lavish, fashionable lifestyle, jet-setting from city to city, and the other is about a man who travels to impoverished cities to learn of what troubles they face and offer up solutions. Which show should she tune into, or should she just tune out and call it a night?
Yeah, I mean, you made this a really hard one. This is, okay, so the fashionista in me is like, yes, because catch that fashion, you better get it. But but then there's also like, oh, they're starving children. Maybe I should donate somewhere. So personally, I think the solution to this scenario is to call it a night and get your Audible going on and listen to The Secret or some type of Dan Norris book, something. Get your life together, because both of those shows, one can fill your soul but then also make you feel really sad. One can fill your heart, but then maybe you might start shopping and maybe your wallet can't stand it.
Empty your bank account.
Yeah, I think you might just get in trouble that night. So you might just want to stay in your lane and back away. What about you?
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
Just tune out.
Yeah.
You don't need any of that stuff.
It's been real.
Your DVR's full. If you want to, why don't you go through that back catalog you have?
True. That's true, yeah. Get through that content you have there.
Yeah. Scenario 2. Vladimir has been watching reality TV shows his whole life. He doesn't remember a time when they were not popular. He's just turned 18 and realizes he doesn't know what he wants to do for the rest of his life. But thinks he knows a lot about reality TV shows. He thinks he should just start his own show with a couple of friends and he'll be set for life. What should be his next step? Should he just chalk up his lofty goal and get a traditional career in the industrial industry? Or should he go through with his aspirations?
That's interesting. So I think that this is a very common question that maybe some of our youngsters out here listening are probably going through as well. I think the best advice I would give Vladimir is to go on some Craigslist and apply to some job opportunities that seem legit. Don't lose your life, and try to get some actual real life world experience on a reality show to get some context, because I think the biggest issue that people don't understand is that your job, as you choose jobs, you need to have had enough context before you get into it, because it's easy to say I want to start my own show, but if you've never worked on one, how do you know you really like one? And especially if you don't know what the hell you want to do with your life, then you really need context. You really need guidance and mentorship. So I would also start a LinkedIn account. Shout out to LinkedIn. I would start connecting with some of these producers, film directors, editors, and also start doing some 15-minute informational interview calls to just say, hey, I'm thinking about starting this project. I'd love to get to know you and understand a little bit about your career and hear from the horse's mouth. Is this something you want to do? Because there's actually a TV show, I feel like it's on Lifetime, about reality shows, which actually looks really interesting and salacious in nature. So, and I think there's a lot that goes into it. So that would be my advice. But what would you tell Vladimir?
All right, I actually think he can go a different route. I think he should just pretty much just jump right into it and start filming him and his friends doing stuff. Because there's a lot of like YouTubers actually doing that. They're video logging their life and they're gaining viewerships, and technically that's a form of reality TV if you think about it.
That's true.
So I think he could jump right into it, but he should still fund his goals. So get like a flexible job somewhere just so that he can still, pay his way, but also still go forward with his dreams of having a reality show.
Gotcha.
And then maybe eventually he gets picked up and gets maybe an increased budget and can go travel and stuff and do a video log around the world. So I think he should just jump right into it and just see how it is, just try it out.
The only reason why I didn't advise to go right into it is just because a lot of people will start something and stop it because they didn't realize, oh crap, this is a ton of work, I don't like it. But I mean, you do have a fair point. You don't know until you really know and you live it. So as long as he doesn't mind the possibility of starting something and then having to be like, JK, I don't really like this, then you could go that route as well. The planner and the Virgo in me is like, okay guys, let's plan. But you could totally dive right into those shark infested waters and see what happens, c'est la vie.
Yeah, it's up to him. It's his choice.
Yep.
Scenario 3. Aurelia was in a highly successful reality TV show over 5 years ago. She now has her own line of healthy drinks that's popular among all the chain gyms. She's fallen out of touch with her TV mates over the years, but has just got word from one of the original producers that they want to reboot the show and have cameo appearances by the original group. Should she take up this opportunity to make a few bucks, or should she just start a new show of her own creation?
I actually like both options. Personally, if she's trying to make that money, I would definitely try to see if she could make an appearance and get that cash there. But then also start the conversation of having her own show. If she has this very successful line of drinks, then maybe she can spin that and spin her life as a, reality show / boss chick kind of show and see if she can do both. But what do you think?
I think she should try out making that appearance and then trying to negotiate maybe with the producer, them funding the show for her, so she doesn't have to come out of pocket herself.
True, yeah,
and then
definitely.
Maybe she can be like a producer as well, possibly.
You better get that cash, yes, mama. You better work
That's what I would say. So try to work out a deal with the producer. I think don't just go on your own. Use that connection and see how far you can take that.
Absolutely, yeah. If you can always work on having other people invest in your dream and obviously have it be a legit dream, I think that sounds phenomenal. But we could talk all day, y'all, about this subject, but we are at that time again. It's the end of our 44th episode of WokeNFree. I couldn't even finish that. What?
What was that? What did you do right there? I didn't finish. Or you didn't finish.
I didn't finish because you went into a dying cat mode. And I was concerned for your health.
You were concerned for yourself, I think.
Pray for us, everyone. We had quite the episode, as you can tell, talking all about reality television programming. If you have some thoughts on it, y'all know what you need to do. You need to leave some comments. You need to holler at us on social media and let us know what you think. And as per usual, I ask the question, but you know what's going to happen. Will I leave you hanging for what our next episode is going to be all about?
On our next episode, we will be talking all about time. What is time all about? You have the time? Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation. And make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on our show, please submit a topic for an upcoming episode on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That is WokenFree.com. And please don't be shy. Hit us up on social media. You can reach us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at WokenFree.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do. Share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Until next time, and remember, enjoy your Independence Day holiday. Be safe.